What's up, guys? JayzTwoCents here, and today we're going to talk about, well, AMD, because that's what everyone's talking about these days.
This is my show.
Sorry.
You said this is 2 times bigger?
About three times
bigger than
this. Just the shop itself is more than twice the space.
This is the shop, I guess?
Yeah, well, that's the idea. So it was originally going to have its own, like, because you can see we got the fake walls over there, right? I was originally
hang on. I didn't even intro this. We're doing a studio tour. Anyway, continue. This is JayzTwoCents. We'll link them below. We're doing a studio tour. Before that, this video is brought to you by us and our new limited edition wireframe shirt. The GN wireframe shirt uses a custom-made 100% soft cotton tee with a blue and silver foil GN logo on the front, rotated in a way that makes it look 3D with the shimmery foil effect. The back has foil polygon shards for an abstract design with that technical feel. Our previous 2 foil shirts sold out fast, and like those, once this is gone, it's gone. Grab your limited foil wireframe shirt today on store.gamersnexus.net to help support what we do. So you were saying?
Yeah, so we had this 3D rendering that we used in like Google SketchUp on how we kind of wanted to utilize the space, because this is our 3rd move in three years. And so just like you, I went from like,
what was the second? So there's the previous place that...
Well, there was the place I started my channel in back in 2012, which was just a bedroom. My parents lived with me at the time, and our garage was converted to like an apartment. And so I just had 1 bedroom that I recorded in, which was like
I remember that one.
It was like an 8-foot by 9-foot bedroom. It was so small. The hallway became like storage, and my parents had to walk sideways down the hallway to get to the bathroom. So when we moved to our larger house, it was like, okay, I've got a bigger bedroom to use as a studio. I've got the garage, like the single detached garage, which was also going to be like a garage space and shop. Then we moved to the space everyone knew prior to this one, which was significantly bigger.
Yeah, that was the official office, right? Like
the official one, yeah. Office, Nick moved with us, and it was just like, we had the kitchen, which was exciting, not because of Linus's kitchen or anything, but because we had a sink we could pour the water cooling stuff down.
Right. Which, unlike Linus's kitchen, is a real sink.
It's a real sink. And it's a real one that apparently we corroded with so much stuff we put down there that we had to pay to have the pipes replaced. But that's besides the point.
Okay.
So, but anyway, we quickly outgrew that. And then, so we're here now. So in 7 years, this is the 4th place I've been in, or the 3rd move, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't, when we moved into the other place prior to this, it's kind of like what I'm dealing with now, but only this is a larger scale, where I had more space and knew what to do with. I was used to having like a desk, and that was my whole YouTube presence. And then the problem is when the space grows, you don't know what to do with it. And then what happens is it turns into a catch-all, and then you become frustrated with the inefficient use of space. But you're probably dealing with that too in the new office, right? At least to some extent.
Everything starts to fill in on its own very easily.
Well, because you start getting shipments, you're like, okay, just put it here, or put it in storage, or put it, and next thing you know, it's like caving in on you. Well, it's kind of crazy because one of our goal here was like the very first build or thing I wanted to do in here was to revive the RIP GN, right? Yeah, we had talked about that, and it's like, it was crazy because we were building the Dominus, and we'd had it for like 5 months, but never booted it. So we didn't even know if it works. So we're setting it all up. And it's funny, Phil and I realized that this table got full of boxes, and we're working on like corners trying to get it all working. We're like, we've got so much more space. So then we spread out, and we're like, this is actually kind of nice. And then we filmed another video in the middle of that, of us getting the RIP GN going. And it was kind of nice because we just sort of moved it back here, did our thing, and we were able to keep going. But even then, my idea for this studio is that we're going to have projects that are currently in progress. Like each bin will kind of be like parts for those builds and stuff.
And then so this is in progress stuff right here? Yeah,
right now this one became just kind of like tubing and stuff. But as we're building things, it's like, okay, the parts or whatever that's needed for that will be labeled. And it's like, okay, where'd that thing go? Because if we're not going to work or finish it all in one day, things get mixed up easily. Right. So these are like in progress. This other stuff that's sitting here is just because I haven't moved over our main storage shelves yet. Right. I don't want product on here. I want this to be tools and things we need for active projects. So it's not really a humble brag, but it just kind of shows like the ups and downs of being a product reviewer or anyone working in hardware. This is all stuff we've acquired just since we came here. Yeah. We haven't moved anything over here yet. Yeah. So, I mean, the water cooling stuff's obviously important, you know.
I think that's kind of a fun topic too. We had one of these pop up when I did the tour with Linus, where in his we were talking about advertising standards, and people really like that discussion. But talking about products coming in, and you saying it's not a humble brag, I think that is a good point where I think on average people, and it's completely fair to think this too, but on average people see like all the stuff come in, they're just like, oh my God.
That must be amazing. That must be great.
Yeah, you're so lucky it's free stuff, right?
A box shows up and it's like, how many hours does this box represent?
Yeah, because it's really not like, it's not really free.
No.
It's
I mean, it's a
10 years
street.
of work to get here, you know, working 100 hours a week for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then it's, okay, I'll take a quote from Linus. You know, it's like, okay, you've given me this box. It's not really free stuff. It's an obligation.
Yeah, it is.
I have to do something with this.
And I think you would agree, though. We love what we do enough to where we continue that relationship of work, love, hate. Otherwise, you know, why do it, right?
Right.
But I mean, it is fair to it's kind of lost a lot of its excitement when something like a new graphics card comes, right? And it's like, oh, that's
different.
cool.
I would say it's different. Like I find it exciting and fun from a competitive standpoint, like a content creation. How can we do something really interesting with this?
Right. When everyone's going to be doing the same content.
Right, but I don't find it, like when I built my first computers and I wasn't running a review site, that was a different feeling. You're excited to build it because it's like you've worked hard to get to this point, you've done all your research.
Right.
But when you're a reviewer, you're not, or at least you shouldn't be excited about just getting a product.
It's kind of the wrong reason.
Yeah, because then it's not really going to be a good review.
I think, to be honest, I've seen you get some flack for being kind of, I guess, overly critical.
Yeah.
But I feel an enthusiast should be critical, quite honestly.
Yeah.
It's one of those things like, it's no different than the keyboard warrior sitting around Reddit being critical. Because if you're passionate about something, you know, you care about it. You care about it to the point to where like, no, this deserves to be better. This should be better. These are shortcuts. Brands shouldn't be doing this. And
especially when you see as much hardware as, I mean, like you said, acquiring this in what, a couple months or something?
Yeah. Nothing's come over here from the other studio.
Yeah.
And this is after me telling people don't send me stuff.
Right.
The other site.
So you've got a bunch of 570 boards. You have the new Super stuff, and I guess the point being that if you see as much hardware as we do, your standards should be higher for what's good and what isn't.
First-hand experience, and so we have a good baseline to be like, this is a good or a bad product.
Right.
It doesn't take long to realize this is above or below the curve.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, so it's just kind of nice though to be able to have a space to work in. I mean, I've been so busy, I haven't been able to put our pegs on the pegboard yet. I mean, our Linus board, you know, our Linus board. But yeah, it's just, I wanted to get more of this done prior to review season, which we knew was coming since, you know, early this year. CES kind of said this is going to be a busy summer.
I really like the setup here, though. Like
these were the original workbenches we got for the other studio.
They're pretty good for.
Yeah.
They're like $200. They're pretty affordable. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what I like about this table here, like I said, this was just an IKEA countertop. This thing was expensive. It was like $290 for this piece of wood. But it is solid wood, you can see, because when we dragged it, we damaged it. But it's real wood. But what's cool is this looked so bad. And I showed in one of our videos of me resurfacing this. I just sanded it all down.
Oh, it looked bad originally, you mean?
No. It looked perfect originally, but we had overspray paint on it. It's scratched. When we beat this up, it's a workbench. But I showed a life hack of how we power sanded it, and then I used Goo Gone to restain it or oil it because it's citrus oil, which is good for wood. And so I made it look pretty good again. But yeah, this thing is also like probably a good 150 pounds, just the wood piece.
Yeah.
So yeah, I also ran power to it.
You said the original was that one back there.
Which is much narrower.
Much skinnier wood piece behind the shelf.
But you see everything's extension cords everywhere, cords. Because the only power in here is on the wall that's with the office, and then that 4-gang box. And 2 of those didn't even work because they weren't even hooked up. I took the cover off and I was like, it's a socket with no wires going to it. What the heck? And it's coming right to the panel. So I'm going, okay.
We had one of ours when I was at the house. The panel blew up, like it lit on fire. So
at least it wasn't like a flash explosion. It was just like an overcurrent type of deal.
I wasn't home, but basically what happened was one of the neighbors said they could hear the arcing. Like they thought it was a power tool in the garage. Jeez. But we had a contractor come out and drop a new circuit in.
Wow.
And when they put it all back together, they had according to the firemen who came and put it out, they had a line, I think it was like a ground line or something that wasn't connected, and it bridged like 2
So that was just faulty workmanship.
It was bad work.
Yeah.
Insurance covered it, but it was almost a house fire.
I'll say you got really lucky because that stuff always happens when you're not there. Like the water leak I'm dealing with. We came home like, what's all this water coming out of the garage? Right. And then it's like, oh look, I have a new waterfall in the house.
Was your wife like, oh, Jay must be doing another water cooling project?
It wasn't that. It's not that abnormal to see water running out of things that I own, right? But the thing is, like, we have a water spigot in the garage, not on the outside of the house. It keeps people from tampering with it. And I like washed the car, and I thought maybe I didn't like turn it all the way off. But it was when I saw the drywall was now wet wall that I knew something was wrong. So fortunately, though, it was isolated to the garage. None of the living area was affected, and it's just been an inconvenience rather than
right. Like, what about this big empty space? Is this gonna, well, I guess I'll point this out on the way too. So this is just a sound panel, I guess.
So one of the things that we did in the other space, which again is a very high metal ceiling that had real bad reverb. Yeah. And it was even like angled, so like come right back at us. What we found was that you could go to a place like Film Tools and you could spend $300 on a piece of foam board. Yeah. Or you could go to Home Depot and spend $16 on the same foam. And then we just put sound panels on it like this. And what we'll do is we'll move this to right behind the camera or wherever I'm speaking, just to break up some of the reverb prior to it reaching the concrete walls.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because these are still not treated.
So reminds me of what I've done in like when we have to film in a hotel room or something for a launch schedule. Right. Sometimes you can just throw like the comforter over a chair in front of, like right behind the camera. Yeah, yeah. And it'll catch a lot of that noise.
Same reason why we have 24 moving blankets, because they work really well too in a pinch. Yeah. You know, if it's off camera and you can stop the camera or the sound, I mean, you're never going to stop reverb, but anytime you make it balance it.
How do you deal with the height? Like, do you have a plan for, or how do you feel about the audio right now? Let me ask that question. Like, are you pretty happy with where you have it?
I feel like it sounds spatial rather than echoey. Okay. I get a lot of comments of like echo, but what people don't realize is that's not echo. They're not hearing echo, they're hearing reverb. Echo is where you say something and there's a delay and you hear it again. And again. Right. That's echo, like yelling into a cavern, right? Right. This feels spatial, and it's not as out of place when we're in the shop, because you can see that it's a shop and you expect to hear that. It's when we go to this set over here where it's intended to, with this proper camera angle, feel like you're at home. To where
it's pretty good. Like this is
when you get the camera angle in there and you turn off the house lights and you get all the key light and stuff, it really does sell it. But the thing is, the audio doesn't quite match the look. So you're like, there's way more reverb than you should be getting in this space. Yeah. But when we put up the Insul Quilt actual sound treatment on the wall, that's going to stop all that. Okay. The lav mics really help too.
And you were saying, so is it a sheet or what is it?
It's about a 1/2 inch thick. Think of it like a honeycomb fabric. Okay. That's just got tons and tons and tons of layers that are designed to, apparently it's tuned to the frequencies and stuff that you would expect to experience for vocals and all that sort of stuff. It's the same exact stuff that like CBS Studios, Warner Brothers Studios, like I've been to those sound stages. It's the exact same stuff, same supplier even. Okay. So I basically was like, hey, I hit up some of the people that I know that work in like studio design and was like, who do you guys contact for this sort of stuff? So they gave me a number, I contacted them.
Yeah, I was wondering if...
extremely affordable. I was surprised. This whole place will cost me about $3,000 to sound treat.
Yeah, which is, as a business expense, not that bad.
Not that bad.
So are you gonna put that stuff like in the ceiling up here, or does it not need a ceiling, this set?
I want to experience it first without a ceiling. Yeah. Without the ceiling, we can still have our hair light and our edge light.
Yeah, so. Good point.
But what I'm thinking about doing though is if I have to build another thing here just to stop the sound from getting to the ceiling, we block the AC vents a little bit, but we don't need the direct airflow for the cooling the space. Right. But I mean, so stand out here.
Is this, by the way, is this the new thing that you just had installed?
This is what we installed. This was not here.
It's very shiny.
That is a radiant barrier that you're sealing up there, that foil. It does stop some of the heat coming through the ceiling, but there's gaps everywhere, so heat does make it through. Right. But that's a 7.5 ton unit just for out here, and then a 3 ton for the office. So I have no idea what it's going to cost me electricity wise, but trust me, the alternative
this month, I guess.
It's worth it. Whatever the alternative was, it gets hot out here. But if you stand out here and just talk, even though, and the reason why that's set up so high is people are like, why is it so high? Is there's going to be walls and more sets here. So we had to get it up. You see how those are set to the proper height.
So I guess, walk me through the plan. You have the workshop area. Is anything going to go back here, or is this just going to be like, oh, you need it for the supports?
We need it for the supports.
Okay, gotcha.
On this side here, I am going to build more bench/storage space into this wall, because we only need about 2 feet to walk to the restroom and then behind the set. So I am going to utilize this space by making more storage here.
Okay.
But what I was getting at is if you hear the way it sounds when you talk here versus now coming back into the actual set and talking here.
Yeah, it is.
You can tell there's a difference.
Yeah, I don't know how much it'll pick up on camera, but a lot of the reverb's gone.
Right.
Yeah.
But the problem is we're
insane.
still speaking out into the space.
Right.
You know, so if I turn and talk this way, then it sounds like a bedroom.
Well, so there's your solution. Just all your videos should be you facing this way with the camera right there.
Yeah.
And you can put a mirror on the wall.
Yeah, I know, right?
I think that would fix it.
Part of me kind of feels like if I was to do this all over again, I might have 180'd this. But it's easy to have an aisle with the cameras and the lights and stuff.
I like the idea of having an open row down the middle.
Right.
So is that corner with this carpet, is that going to be one set? And then
it was going to be, but we've nixed that idea. This carpet is cut to the exact size that my current set in the other studio was when they had the windows behind me and the shelves.
Right.
This is the space I had. This was it. And it was frustrating.
So if we get a wide shot, I think everyone will see.
Like from that corner out, you can definitely see the space we've got now. I was going to recreate that set. That was the idea behind here. I was going to build the fake windows like over there. I was going to one-to-one.
Yeah.
So if I shot here, you would think I was there.
So was that?
But I canceled that idea.
Was that for like sentimental, personal desire, or was it for viewers, or what?
No, initially it was just for continuity and consistency. But like I told you off camera, that place is such a source of stress. I was like, why do I want to bring that here? So this is now going to be storage. I'm going to have the racks here, right? Kind of like a mini version of what Linus has in a way.
Yeah, right.
And then this over here is going to be the giant flex space, I guess you would call it. So the idea was talking head / build space.
Yeah.
Flex area. That's going to be not just an area we can record in, but also
storage here, I guess.
Yeah, but then this will also double as green room, meeting area, TV to hang out, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And that doesn't even include like obviously the offices and entry area we can do stuff with.
We should let's look at that area too.
Yeah. I mean, so this space here, like I said, it's going to be like think of this as like the break room.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's got a TV, fridge, tables, maybe like a couch over here or something, but it's really just because it's here, we must do something with it.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, it would have been better for us personally if the office was cut in half and this was still warehouse. This would be beneficial to us that way, but this was already here.
And so then you've got the office over here.
Yeah.
Do you spend most of your time in there?
The irony is that the men's bathroom's already out of order. So this is the one that works.
Yeah, well.
Phil's laughing, but we may have caused that ourselves, but I won't say that on camera.
No, it has to be the bell. Obviously.
Yeah, so I mean, ideally, I'll probably end up setting my office or my desk up on this wall. Or actually, no, I think I decided we're keeping it this way and we're going to do like a conference table over here. But yeah,
so maybe a table here, I guess.
Yeah, just so that when we have like our little skit design meetings, like when we came up with that World of Warships ad and stuff like that.
That was a funny ad. I texted you about that one. I don't know if
the fact that you asked me if we actually broke glass, that meant Phil sold it with that post edit.
Yeah, I didn't. So maybe we can drop a clip in for it, and then you can bill them for another ad run.
The thing is, so our concept, and we've done some of these in the past, was ads are a way of life. It's how we live, right? If you've got to watch an ad, at least make it worth watching,
right?
And then we didn't even tell World of Warships we were going to do that. We were just like, hey,
really?
We're going to kind of like go over the top on this ad. Let me run it more than 1 month so it has value to creating this thing. So we're going to keep building upon it. Our next ad is going to be a continuation of that. It's just going to be a fun.
Just get more ridiculous.
Yeah, and we came up with that mostly on the fly. Like I had this idea in my head, didn't even storyboard it. I was directing it. And I was kind of like, okay, just do this. I know it doesn't make sense, but just do this. And then Nick's reaction in a different take, I should have Phil show you some of the outtakes from that. Nick's reaction to turning around when I came through the window was genuine because I didn't tell him what I was going to do.
Oh, okay.
I just was like, okay, just be sad, blah, blah, blah. And then he took over the camera when you notice we were never in shot together, right?
Yeah, right.
With the exception of when I'm screaming at his face. So I just basically, he was like, okay, and action. Just, I like boats. And I'm yelling through the window. And Nick was like, what the hell? So it was pretty genuine.
I love how Nick was like that when he gets farther away from you as you're getting closer to him.
That's what I liked about the, I didn't watch it full screen or anything, so any of the glass effects you did, I didn't notice.
Looked good, yeah.
Yeah.
Most people watch on their phone and tablets now, right?
Yeah,
so.
and so when I was like, oh, he must have like bought just a simple sheet of glass from Lowe's and stuck it in the window.
Someone would be getting stitches if I did that. Probably me and Nick, yeah.
You and Nick.
So the thing is, everyone keeps saying, Captain Jay's the best, and I'm getting mad because I'm like, no, it's Admiral Jay. Admiral. Fleet Admiral Jay, right?
I say that.
Yeah, Admiral Jay.
And yeah, Jay still gets mad at me too when I say it.
So, but yeah, I mean, we're still on folding tables because this is literally like.
So what's your plan like long term for this room? What's your vision for it? I guess.
There's gonna be like silly crap on the walls. I mean, we're gonna So
make it lived in, right?
Yeah, one of Brian's really good friends is an artist and he does like murals and stuff. So he's gonna make like crazy paintings and stuff for us to put up here that reflect our personality. He's got this one photo of Brian eating like Chinese food with chopsticks, but it's my head in the chopsticks. So it's like weird stuff, right? I just want it to be fun because if we have to spend, probably more time here than we do at home, that life.
Yeah.
I want to be comfortable here.
Right.
That's why I want a couch and stuff.
That's why I got the couch in. Because like with the Ryzen launches especially, I was basically work like 20 plus, 24 hours, and then just go crash on the couch until embargo lifts an hour later. Because if otherwise I don't know.
I know the life.
You definitely need the.
Phil, how many naps did I take on that other couch? Like half the time you're editing, I'm over there like catching a cat nap.
Yeah, it's either you're taking a nap or you're
playing World of Warships. Yeah.
Hey Phil, watch this, and I'm like taking my headphones off. Wait, what? Oh.
The reality is, I became addicted to that game prior to them ever working with me. So when they were like,
that's a
"Hey, do you want?" I was like,
"Genuine ad."
Yes,
then.
yes,
Everyone actually thinks you don't care about the game, but like, yeah, no.
I play the crap out of that game. Way more time than I like to admit. But yeah, so we're gonna have he's gonna have a sit-stand desk that he really likes from the other studio. This is where we did all the benchmarking for other reviews and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which that was another thing that was a problem with the other studio is not only did it have to double as our set, it was the only place we had for the workbench. Yeah. So the test bench had to be used, or it was using real estate that was also used to make videos.
Right.
So everything stepped on top of each other. We couldn't do anything simultaneously. So we could have benchmarks running in here and then go out there and be filming something, or even if we wanted them running out there, we could put it on the test bench or the workbench in the back of the set. It's just really flexible. So it's going to be his desk, my desk, and then probably workbench here. Funny story, I tried to set my desk up here, and I tried to hang these, which are temporary. I'm going to be putting blinds and stuff up. And I'm sitting here with my nail gun, and I'm like, why won't the nails go in? It's concrete.
Oh, yeah.
I was hitting this concrete with a nail gun, and the nails were just like completely flattening on them. So he's laughing because he didn't. When we realized, like, I'm trying to nail gun into concrete.
Yeah.
So there's no power on this wall.
Before I signed my lease, I had gotten approval to mount our pegboard directly to the wall. And that was the one thing I specifically got approval for mounting to the wall to the studs. And we went to go mount it, and they're steel studs.
Yep.
And I'm not allowed to mount into steel studs. And there's no wood studs in the space.
Most offices are steel.
So of course they were like, yeah, go ahead, sucker.
Have fun with that. Yeah. Sure, it's approved because I know you can't.
Right.
Yeah, this is all steel too. So I don't know if you saw our video when I had to redo the networking because the guy who installed our network plate just used wood screws into drywall. So the second I touched it, it like all fell apart.
Yeah.
So I redid all their work properly. I showed the proper box you would get with the wings that come out and all that. And then I had to run it up over the office. But I mean, I think for a full-time two-man operation with a part-time, not part-time, but a part-time here, third body.
Yeah.
This is a lot of space, which is why I'm so conflicted on how I want to build this side out. I've already got some of the lumber to start building it. But yeah, I need to build an actual, like a more permanent structure for that door. That was just leftover sound panels from this, or I would have gone with a thicker one for a higher R factor. But that roll-up door is a huge heat load on this space.
Yeah, for sure.
With a thermal camera, that thing just glows.
It's a big hole in the wall, right?
Exactly, because concrete is an insulator. I mean, we're concrete on three sides.
It's pretty cool in here with AC running.
It works really well. And because we actually have that motor reduced on speed, because it's a stage 2 system, or 2-stage system, but we don't have a 2-stage compressor.
Okay.
So a second condenser and compressor is supposed to kick on with the 2-stage. So when the fan would go into its second stage, it sounded like a jet in here. But we got no additional cooling. In fact, it got warmer because it was just shoving more air.
Generating heat too.
Well, it was shoving more air through the condenser, which was not getting any cooler.
Okay.
But I'm going to be building a more permanent door in front of this because technically this AC doesn't meet the California Title 24 because that door can't be allowed to roll up.
Oh, I see.
So a warehouse can't be air conditioned if it has a roll up door.
Why?
Because they want to make sure you're not rolling up the door and just ACing with the door open.
Oh,
because
okay.
then it would always, it's California Title 24, which is the efficiency title.
So I'm going to build. Why would you do that though?
I'm not going to be able to roll it up anyway because this carpet here was just like, okay, how big do I want the space to be? We're not going to use this carpet actually, which is kind of a waste of money.
It's probably good for deflection though. When
that's why it's down here now. Yeah. Originally we were going to hang it on the wall, but it was too heavy. But it's going to come all the way out to this door, so we're not going to be able to bring anything in through it anyway.
Right.
We never accepted any sort of pallet jack deliveries or anything. Yeah. So, worst case scenario, we have a people door. So if they deliver a pallet, we just have to break it down and come through the door.
That makes sense to me.
So, but
you gonna do anything with this brick veneer?
That was just leftovers from the bedroom set thing.
You ended up using a white one over there, right?
Well, it's just that painted white.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but because it's actually the texture, it shows up nicely.
That looks pretty good, actually. Dang.
We got a lot of pushback. A lot of people initially were like, "Don't paint it," and then once they saw that it looked good, they were like,
we put a fake white like wall mural up for our B-roll set, and that's a pretty good fake though. I mean the veneer approach.
Yeah, we just happened to see it when we were at Home Depot, and it's like $44 a sheet. It's expensive. It's funny. A lot of people told me I was copying you with the shiplap.
With what? With this?
With the wood panel.
That's funny.
Because it's like it's the best way to hide defects in a wall, right?
Yeah.
Because you can see where the sheets come together. This is just that 1/8-inch thick hardwood.
Yeah.
But you don't.
I mean, I like this stuff. It's great for a lot of reasons, but.
It really does a good job at hiding.
It's the same as people saying that we copied Linus for having a pegboard, or anyone who has a kitchen in their house is copying Linus.
So I haven't showed anyone yet on camera how I got around the electrical code, but I will expose myself.
Okay.
Wait, let me rephrase that. I will expose how we got around code with the electrical.
Title of the video: Jay exposes himself.
But you see, we
put a big censored bar over you.
We have functional outlets on these walls.
Okay, cool.
So we'll show you over here. We'll start over here. And I'm proud of this because I came up with this on my own, and I asked like 3 different contractors, like, is this okay? And they're like, yeah, I think so. Because most contractors, if they're not sure, they're just like, no, just don't even bother.
Yeah, I think so is a pretty good
But
answer.
I asked 3 different C10 electricians that I know. I'm like, can I do this? And they went, yeah, I think so. And I'll show you why. So we've got our light up here running to this box. Right, so you can see we've got the Romex.
Did you run this Ethernet too?
I've done everything in here.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can't really go through the wall,
Right.
But I had to cut the coaxial because I had to bring the router back, or the modem back out here next to the router.
Oh, okay.
But so I've got this box here, which is jumpered off of this box, which is the other side. It's the proper box. It's the proper Romex. Nothing's exposed. So the way I got around code is actually really kind of ingenious. I just went and got electrical extension cord making equipment. And if you shoot right through here, you'll see the lit cord there. It's just an extension cord going into that box.
Okay.
So basically, if the fire marshal came in and went, well, you can't have that wired like that, and just fix.
Okay.
It just unplugged.
Sorry.
Yeah. So every contractor has looked at that and went, dude, there's a really thin gray area and you're in there.
Yeah.
So, because what makes this legal is the fact that this is a perfectly freestanding structure. It is not bolted down. It is not wired into anything. That's hardwired, and because that's detachable. It's like saying an extension cord is legal with a lamp. That's really what that is.
Right.
Yeah, I completely am underneath code's requirements because of that.
Nice.
So that's why, as long as I don't put a single bolt to the ground to hold that thing down, then we're good. Like if I was to run a board to that wall to anchor it, then I'm in trouble.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So as long as it's freestanding, then you're good.
Fully freestanding. Okay. Yeah. So that was fun, and I kind of came up with all that as I went. I'd never built anything like that. This was more of a proof of concept. Like, can I build this and it won't kill me?
Right.
And so far, the answer is yes. It survived the earthquakes.
Is this your?
That's my hat.
Your Admiral hat.
My Admiral J hat. The ripped GN wig is going to make its way in here at some point.
Did you do this?
I did build that, yeah.
Dang. That's
I
cool.
mean it when I said I like boats.
Yeah.
It's not just a meme.
You might, I don't know, you might do well in North Carolina. I like boats.
I like boats and ships. And don't you guys have a battleship museum out there too?
We do actually, yeah. I've been there a few times.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
So out here we've got down in San Diego, we've got the USS Midway.
Yeah.
And then in LA, we've got the USS Iowa.
Okay.
And
cool.
the Iowa is the sister ship to the 200 scale I'm building at home.
So how long did this take you to build?
I did it during Christmas break. Probably spent about, I don't even want to admit this, but I probably spent about 10 hours a day for 3 weeks on it.
Ooh, man.
Yeah. And it's not even done, to be honest. You notice there's no propellers, there's no rudders.
So what takes the longest with this? Is it?
It's just the amount of like little things, like a lot of, like this superstructure part right here.
Are they all glued together or snapped together?
They're all glued together, but the thing is you have to clean the parts. And I intentionally like weathered this way more than the ship ever was because the Bismarck never, it only floated for 8 months until it was sunk.
Oh, okay.
And so it never really had a chance to like truly become weathered. So I just sort of put a take of like, if it spent a year at sea, you know, in battle conditions, what would it look like?
Oh, it looks good.
But I still have to do all the rigging, like all the wire antennas and stuff, which is like thread.
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't had time to do it. And I'm doing a 200 scale right now because I needed to take a break from this.
What is this?
This is a 350 scale.
Okay.
Yeah, so the 200 scale it's about that long.
Bigger. Okay.
Yeah, and it's.
Is that going to make its way into the set when you're done with it?
Eventually, yeah, because I have no place to put it at home. I started building it, and I'm like, this is way bigger than I anticipated.
Yeah, right. You're going to need.
It would probably barely fit on that table in terms of length. Yeah.
Cool. So. Anything else interesting in set backgrounds here? Just all the stuff
probably just the wall of GPUs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see you're giving your definitely real plant some good sunlight.
It's funny. I did that just for the hell of it, and then it became some.
You could put a real plant there now.
But what's funny is somehow that became Jay's Pro Medicinal. Like because it looks like a grow light.
Yeah.
So everyone thinks I'm over here growing marijuana or something. To be honest, I just stuck the plant there one day and it made it in a shot, and then it just stuck.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. And then this chair here, I've done a few talking heads in this, like when I did the Q&A. But it's funny, we are thinking about doing like an interview set, almost like a Tonight Show type of feel.
Right.
And we're like, that chair would be perfect.
That is kind of a Tonight Show set.
Yeah, if I was sitting there and then we had multiple camera angles and stuff. So
right.
I don't know. The problem is we have more room than I know what to do with. So
well, you're in California. You could get guests from most of the companies.
Yeah.
I would think pretty easily.
True.
Get Jacob out here. You could probably get someone from Gigabyte or MSI. Well, Gigabyte. Not sure about MSI, but
MSI's local.
Oh, are they? They're an city of industry, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, they're right down the street from Newegg.
Gotcha.
NZXT's out there.
Yeah, they're out. They're for sure here.
Yeah.
Start doing the Jay show.
I know, right? Do I want to open that can of worms though, or I start doing like bringing guests in and doing interviews and stuff? I don't know. It's like anything else, just trying to come up with ideas.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. Well, let me do one more question before we close out. Then let's talk about the camera setup. Okay. So can you walk me through it?
Yeah. So this is our FS7. It's on a Manfrotto 502 head, which is actually it's too small for this camera. This thing's fairly heavy. Like if I put our
you've had this camera body for a while, right?
A while, yeah, but it's not light. I mean, feel that. So that 502 is a little, and keep in mind there's no monitor and no battery.
Andrew, you want to use this one for now on? By the end of the shoot, Andrew's gonna be like, done.
But if you want to talk about like a superior video quality, though, this compared to FS5 is really, really good in low light.
So is this your daily camera? That
no, actually, we use it the least.
Oh, really?
We use it mostly in this set because we keep the lights a lot lower, a lot more moody, and this has a much better sensor on it.
Okay.
But it's running its.
So what are you using? Oh, I see. Okay.
So that's an FS7 with a Sigma 1.8 art lens on it, with a small small HD 502. Mm-hmm. I think it's also 502 lens or monitor, and then we're using the electrosonic analog lab mic. This is like 99% of our stuff gets shot on this.
Okay.
It's just because it's much more, handholdable.
Is this an add-on?
No.
So that's part of the
it's part
camera?
of the body, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the FS7 was one of those, like, I wanted a much more better studio quality camera.
Right.
And then it was one of those little bit of, like, remorse, acquired.
Yeah.
pieces of equipment here. We don't use it that often, mostly in that set.
So do you use this one for shows, trade shows mostly, or?
Phil prefers to use the A7 at our trade shows, which is this guy over here. I think you've seen it before.
The A7 we have.
So we've got the A7 with the tilted body, and then when we use this for our vlogs, he tends to use our Chokina 10 to 16 millimeter.
Okay.
Because he really likes that super wide feel.
Right.
And then we have the I don't remember the model number of this guy here. Oh, the XLR A1M. So our dual XLR input with shotgun mic.
Right.
And then we just power it off like an Anker battery for this.
Okay, cool.
The problem with this is it's still a little bit heavy, but our HDMI out port broke. So we have no monitor on this anymore.
Right.
So because of that, we don't really use it that much anymore, which is too bad because it broke like almost immediately.
So it's just the on-camera screen now?
Yeah, which is really not great for trying to get focused. The zebras on it are not, they're really forgiving. So it'll show like, oh yeah, your face is in focus, but it's like 2 feet behind you.
Okay, yeah.
So that started causing us some headaches.
This one's crazy built out though.
This thing is capable of giving you studio quality.
Yeah, this is like TV camera.
You set it to 24p and you put a good LUT on there, because all of our stuff has LUTs built for each camera. We actually had Wes come out, who works for Austin Evans, because he's a lighting engineer.
Okay.
So he actually came out and took samples and created LUTs for each of our cameras. That way they can match.
I see.
So if we were to do like a 3-camera thing with 3 different cameras,
they would all look the same.
They all look the same.
That's cool.
Yeah. Which got us to realize, like, wait a minute, if you can get the FS5 to look as good as this.
Do you go off the lav then when you film here, or do you use, do you use a lav or do you use the shotgun here?
So scratch audio.
Okay, gotcha.
And then normally we'll use the lav on this. We haven't used our MKH 416 much, because with the AC on and all the reverb, this picks up a lot of it.
Right.
I can use that though if I just turn everything off and then get it real close to me. This is amazing audio, but until it's sound treated in here, it's not gonna.
Gotcha.
It's not gonna meet our needs.
So what is the workflow then ultimately? I mean, for making a video, like I guess walk me through the bullet points of you get a product in, how do you progress through it?
Well, it depends on what it is. So
let's say like a, I don't know, CPU, something like that.
All right, so for a CPU, we probably end up using this set. We tend to just build out now on the motherboard box. Like we used to do whole case setup and all that. But now we'll just build out the motherboard box, do all of our testing and stuff, and then we more or less turn it into, I guess very similar to how you do, like a talking head piece with all the charts and all the data that's overlaid on top of our voice. So over here, if I were sitting stationary, I would use the FS7 because it's such a better lens and a better sensor in that body. I would arrange all the lights how I want it. I do all the lighting for our videos. Phil is fantastic at camera work, but he doesn't like doing lighting setup. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of take the FS5 and I'll sort of frame everything how I want it. Yeah. Play around with the lights and stuff. And then by that time, he's ready to come and set up. He handles all the equipment, so he's like my quartermaster at the same time. Once I hand off, like, okay, the lighting's set up, the outline is ready to go for the video, because I don't script anything, I just bullet point. And then we just either sticks and shoot, or he'll do something dynamic. So I mean, it's a pretty small operation there. I feel like we're only about 25% utilized here of what we can do.
That's good for just starting.
Yeah, that's why I want whatever I do over here, I've got to be committed to, because tearing this down would be a lot of work. I mean, it's a lot of lumber in this. I don't even want to say how much this one set cost to build, but it's not cheap. And I did it myself because the initial contractor quotes I got was just like, really? Yeah. For fake walls, you're going to charge me this? Yeah. No, I don't think so. Charge me to build an add-on for your house, basically. And that's the thing, was trying to get someone that understood, like, look, we're building a set. We're not building an addition. Yeah. They couldn't get their mind around that. So I did it myself. But I don't want to build this all out and then be like, man, I want to redo it. Well, if you put set walls up in either of these areas, it's going to feel a lot smaller. Yeah, and it close in really fast. I think I'm okay with that though, because the more we fill this space too, the more it's going to help with reverb. Right. So, right. But yeah, that's I would say our humble little studio. So that's the tour. JayzTwoCents on YouTube. If you want to check him out, we'll link him below. Yeah. Thanks for the walkthrough. No, thanks for coming and looking at it. Because after doing Linus's, it's kind of like, really? You want to look at mine? Okay. Well, Linus's has a lot of eccentricities. He's got a lot going on, but this one is like very relatable. I just need to build one big giant bookshelf now that swings away right here. That's right. Close this off. Yeah. On that note,
we'll see you all next time. Thank you for watching. Check out Jay on YouTube. And then we've also got, I guess I'll mention the Linus tour we did previously if you're interested in this type of content. We'll see you all next time.